Chosen ones, this message didn't find you by chance. It arrived exactly when it was meant to. There's a reason your eyes are on these words at this very moment. A divine alignment that placed you here to receive what many will miss. You've walked through storms, been broken open by lessons refined by silence and shaped by pain that had purpose. And now, the path ahead narrows to one sacred moment. The final test before your blessing. October 12th is not just another sunrise. It's a doorway, a divine threshold where destiny measures your readiness. You feel it already, don't you? That subtle tightening in your chest, the quiet whisper in your spirit saying, "Pay attention." Because deep within, you recognize that something is shifting. The air feels different, heavier yet electric, as if the universe itself is holding its breath. For months, perhaps years, everything you've endured has been guiding you here, to this exact space between endings and beginnings. The obstacles weren't punishments. They were preparations. The heartbreaks weren't losses. They were recalibrations, teaching you control, patience, and faith. Every delay, every silence from heaven, every unanswered prayer was part of the architecture of this moment. They tried to keep this from you, the ones who thrive on confusion, who feed off noise and distraction. But the truth can't be hidden from those whose souls remember, and you remember. Somewhere beyond memory, your spirit knows this isn't random. October 12th carries a vibration so rare that only those tuned to divine frequency can feel its pull. It's the day your spiritual evolution is tested through the simplest yet most powerful form of mastery: silence. So, as the countdown begins, still your mind. Don't rush ahead to what's coming. Stand still in the knowing that you were chosen for this moment. The universe isn't testing you to break you. It's confirming that you've become the person who can hold what you've prayed for. This is the prelude to your transformation, the final calm before your ascension. Breathe. You've made it to the edge of destiny. Now, prepare to cross. The energy surrounding October 12th is not accidental. It is deliberate, orchestrated by unseen forces that weave time and intention together. The ancients would have called it a convergence, a point where the divine and the earthly briefly overlap. This day is not marked by coincidence but by cosmic design. Imagine the universe as an intricate web, threads of energy pulsing with intelligence, each strand vibrating with purpose. On October 12th, those vibrations synchronize, forming a gateway between what was and what is becoming. They won't tell you this, but every major shift in human consciousness follows such an alignment. It's when the veil thins and truth becomes impossible to ignore. That's why your awareness has been heightened lately, why dreams feel more vivid, emotions sharper, and silence louder. You're not imagining it. You're tuning in. The frequency of creation itself is humming through you, preparing your spirit to pass through this energetic checkpoint. October 12th acts as a divine filter, separating those who are ready to rise from those who still cling to old cycles. The test may appear simple, but its weight is immense. Will you remain silent when provoked? Will you trust the unseen when everything visible demands a reaction? This is the true meaning behind the day. They call it a date. The universe calls it a refinement. What happens in those hours will echo far beyond the calendar, shaping the vibration of your next chapter. As the veil thins on October 12th, the test reveals itself, not as thunder or fire, but in quiet provocations designed to expose what still governs your spirit. It won't announce its arrival. It will appear through moments that feel ordinary. A careless word, a misunderstanding, an unexpected tension that stirs the old impulse to defend yourself. This is where the universe leans close and listens. not to what you say, but to whether you can choose not to speak. The nature of this test lies in its simplicity and subtlety. The divine does not measure your worth through grand gestures, but through restraint in small moments. Can you resist the urge to prove a point? Can you choose peace over the satisfaction of being right? Each pause becomes a declaration of mastery. Each silence a signal that you've learned the difference between power and control. Every spiritual tradition has echoed this truth. Silence is the language of strength. Jesus stood silent before accusation. The Buddha met chaos with stillness. The prophets spoke only when heaven required it. And now, that same lineage of wisdom has reached you. October 12th is not testing your patience. It's refining your power. When you hold your tongue, the universe hears your faith louder than words ever could. The test will not arrive with warning signs or heavenly trumpets. It will slip quietly into your day, disguised as the ordinary. You may wake to calm skies, feeling centered, unaware that the universe has already begun its observation. Then, like a faint tremor before a storm, it begins. A message that stings, a conversation that twists your words, a memory that reopens an old wound. Each moment will feel justified in its demand for response. But that is the illusion, the trap hidden within the lesson. Your ego will whisper. They need to hear your truth. But your higher self will know. Silence is your truth. This is how the test manifests, not in great battles of good and evil, but in the quiet warfare between your reaction and your restraint. The challenge will come through people closest to you, through situations that know exactly where your peace is weakest. These aren't coincidences. They're cosmic mirrors reflecting what still requires mastery. If you feel the urge to explain, defend, or retaliate, pause. The moment you resist that impulse, the energy shifts. You pass unseen gates every time you hold your calm. The universe isn't watching for perfection. It's watching for awareness. October 12th is a theater of energy, and your silence is the performance that will echo across timelines. Beyond the silence lies the reward that has been forming quietly in the unseen, the blessing that has waited for you to become steady enough to hold it. Every test of restraint is not a denial, but an initiation. The universe withholds not to punish, but to prepare. When you pass through the furnace of silence without burning your peace, you prove that you can be trusted with abundance, love, and purpose. This is where the shift begins, the invisible moment where destiny tilts in your favor. For some, the blessing will arrive as sudden opportunity, a door that opens with divine timing. For others, it will come as a person whose presence feels like alignment itself. And for many, it will come as peace, a stillness that no circumstance can steal. Whatever form it takes, it mirrors your mastery. The universe grants blessings that match your level of inner calm. Remember, silence is not emptiness. It is a signal to creation that you are ready. When you refuse to speak from ego, you speak in vibration. Your silence tells the divine, I trust you more than my need to explain. That trust becomes the frequency that magnetizes your blessing. October 12th is not just the test, it is the threshold where faith turns into fulfillment and restraint becomes revelation. Silence is not absence, it is energy in its purest form. When you withhold your words, you do not lose power, you gather it. Every unspoken reaction becomes stored potential, coiling within you like sacred fire waiting for divine instruction. This is the alchemy of restraint, transforming raw emotion into spiritual gold. On October 12th, your silence will not be emptiness. It will be creation in motion. It will speak on frequencies beyond human hearing, communicating directly with the fabric of the universe. You will feel it physically. The tightness in your chest, the heat in your jaw, the rush in your pulse. These are signs of power seeking release. But instead of letting it escape through argument or defense, breathe. Let it travel upward. Let it refine you. The same energy that once fueled chaos will become the current that carries you higher. This is how silence becomes sacred. It turns pain into prophecy. When you master the stillness, you begin to command the unseen. Words shape worlds, but silence anchors them. Every moment you choose peace over reaction, you realign your vibration to the frequency of miracles. October 12th is not about holding your tongue. It's about harnessing your energy until it sinks. When the sun rises on October 13th, the air itself will feel altered. There will be a stillness in the atmosphere, a quiet recognition between your spirit and the divine. If you have held your silence, you will sense it immediately. A lightness, an internal shift as though the universe has quietly rearranged itself in your favor. This is the echo of passing the test. It may not come as fireworks or grand miracles, but as an unshakable peace, a knowing that something irreversible has changed within you. Some will see visible blessings appear quickly, messages, opportunities, breakthroughs that feel like divine confirmation. Others will experience subtler ripples, small alignments that gradually reveal themselves as pieces of a larger miracle. But do not doubt the process. The reward has already been set in motion. Your silence has written a new command into the fabric of your destiny, and the universe is now responding. And if you faltered, if you spoke when you meant to be still, do not despair. The divine does not seek perfection but progress. Acknowledge, realign, return to quiet. The test was not about flawless restraint. It was about awareness. October 13th is the morning of renewal, the soft exhale after divine examination. Whether you soared or stumbled, you have grown. The ripples of October 12th do not fade with the passing of the day. They expand through time, shaping the frequencies of your future. What you chose in silence, the restraint you held, becomes the foundation upon which the next chapter of your life is built. The universe has a memory, not of your words, but of your vibration. Every moment you resisted reaction, you were sending a signal across timelines, I am ready. And readiness is the true language of manifestation. October 12th acts as a mirror revealing your spiritual maturity with perfect precision. It doesn't expose what you claim to be. It shows what you've become. The level of calm you maintain, the peace you protected, determines how high the next wave of blessings can lift you. This is why such days exist. They are not punishments, but measurements, divine checkpoints that mark your evolution. If you met the day with grace, the months that follow will carry ease and divine alignment. Paths will open smoothly, and opportunities will flow with less resistance. If you stumbled, the reflection continues, guiding you gently back to mastery. The universe delays, never denies. It waits for you to match the vibration of what you've asked for. In this way, October 12th becomes more than a test. It becomes a prophecy fulfilled through patience. Ascension is not a single leap into light. It is the subtle rising that happens after silence. Once the echoes of October 12th settle, you will notice the shift. Your spirit will no longer rush to prove itself. Your heart will crave peace more than validation. This is the mark of ascension. When your energy expands beyond reaction and begins to command reality through stillness, the old patterns of defense, fear, and noise start to dissolve, leaving space for clarity to flow. The ascension is not about leaving the world behind. It is about walking through it untouchable. The same storms that once broke you will now move around you, unable to disturb your center. The more you hold your silence, the higher your vibration rises, until your very presence begins to alter the atmosphere. This is power born of mastery, not of dominance, but of grace. You will sense that the universe now moves with you, not against you. People will respond differently. Doors that were once sealed will open quietly, as if they recognize your new frequency. You have become magnetic to peace, prosperity, and purpose. October 12th was not a test to survive. It was an initiation into sovereignty. The silence you chose has become the crown you now wear effortlessly. And now, as the journey folds into silence once more, you stand at the threshold of a new existence. The universe has watched, recorded, and responded to every breath of your restraint. October 12th was never just a test. It was a rewriting of your destiny. You have proven that your peace is no longer negotiable, that your power lies not in words, but in presence. This is your initiation into mastery, where silence no longer feels like withholding, but like creation in progress. From this point forward, you will move differently. Your steps will be slower but surer, your choices deliberate, your speech sacred. You will feel less need to explain, defend, or prove, for your energy will speak long before your mouth does. The storms may still come, but they will bow before your calm. The world will shout, but you will no longer echo its noise. You will hum with the frequency of heaven. Remember this truth. Silence is not emptiness. It is command. It is how the awakened move mountains without raising their voice. Hold this stillness as your new language, your invisible armor. For the life that begins after this day is not just survival, it is ascension made manifest. You are ready now. Walk forward quietly and let the universe make the sound. If this message resonated with your soul, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more spiritual awakenings, divine insights, and soul reminders.